Hello, you are with OnEBoard series now. It's OnEBoard Home series. I'm Nina Trankova. I'm the producer of the series. Our guest today is Mary Stovall. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Mary. And
Thank
please
you.
introduce yourself.
So I'm Mary Stovall, and I'm happy to be here with all of you guys. It's been a while. We know each other from Google Plus. My background is of late mostly digital marketing and data analysis consulting. So I help small businesses and nonprofits do their best at doing digital marketing and trying to understand what that means for them and how the analysis piece fits in and helps them inform their business.
Thank you so much. Today's moderator is Peggy. Peggy, I'm giving you the floor.
Thank you, Nina. And welcome, Mary, and welcome, viewers, everyone who's watching today. We're all really interested in hearing more about what you do and what your home is online. So I will start the questions, first of all, by asking whether you feel like you have a specific home online, whether it's a public social media site, a private forum, or even just a private chat.
You know, your question was very thought-provoking, and I'm on many different platforms, but I don't consider any of them a home online. Answering that question gave me it made me a little bit sad. It made me realize how disjointed everything is. I'm on Twitter for journalistic purposes, sometimes science, people that I follow, LinkedIn professionally. I'm on Upwork a little bit, Facebook for family, Instagram for cats and recipes. So there's no it's random. I don't feel at home there. I really miss Google Plus. It made me realize how much I miss our community and the quality that we had over there. So, and the ability to build deep relationships. So.
Yeah, we all miss it a lot.
I'm preaching to the choir here, so you know.
So just to start, Nina, do you have some specific questions for Mary?
Yes. Why did you decide to become a data analyst?
So I started looking at Google Analytics back in probably 2015. I was doing Google Ads and kind of my evolution across the Google platform. But the more I got involved with the overall digital marketing of clients, the more I realized that very few were tracking like their results. They didn't have goals set up. They didn't even have anything defined. And so that made me really curious. And then I really wanted to evolve. I'm kind of a continuous learner anyway. And I started a boot camp in 2018 for data science and got about halfway through and realized they were not the end all to be all to data science. So I moved on and I went back to Google because it's kind of where I always land back there if I need to. So I'm still pursuing the data learning. There's a lot to learn. You have to, learn how to code and things like that. So it's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yes, thank you for this answer. This is sounding very futuristic to still, because it's very dynamic also. And my second question is, what is the future of data analysts?
I believe there's a lot of future in almost every industry. I think there's a lot to be learned from data across the board, regardless of whether you're a nonprofit or a marketing agency or a small business or a giant business or medical or science or not science. There's so many industries where it can be useful, and I don't see that going away anytime soon. So
So are you saying that each occupation needs to know about data analyst or work with one?
I recommend working with one and understanding, you know, what your business is doing and how that's coming back to you. Like what data, well, data, but you know, what are your customers showing you? So I think you can inform your decisions better if you have the data and you analyze it well. So there's a caveat. It needs to be quality data and it needs to have some good analysis to it.
Yeah, thank you. So that's the wise approach for any occupation, I see. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peggy, back to you.
Thank you for your questions, Nina. I have a couple questions myself. Okay. The first thing I'm wondering is how you're a freelancer right now, is that correct?
That's correct.
So I'm wondering how you network with other freelancers. It's can be a difficult thing when you're not going into an office. You don't have a fixed set of colleagues. Do you have special ways that you meet with other people in your industry?
Currently, I network a bit. I'm using the platform Upwork with the most success. I don't do a whole lot of networking. Probably should, but I've done okay on Upwork. I'm getting a fair amount of, I'm probably getting one a week of requests for proposals on LinkedIn. They haven't really gone anywhere, but I've been able to get my profile lifted a little bit on Upwork. And so I do network within that community, and then I keep the relationships that I have, but I don't really do a whole lot to search for others at this point. So open to suggestions if there's a good platform.
Thank you. That is something I find difficult to do as well. So it's something.
It's hard to find like-minded people. I've gone into some Google groups and I'm having a difficult time finding the right community for me. So.
Thanks. The other thing I'm wondering is, in these specific times with the coronavirus, everyone sheltering in place, has that affected the kinds of data that you're looking at? And has it affected the kinds of advising you do to small businesses and marketing?
Not really, because I generally look at data based on, so I have a fairly large nonprofit, and so when we're working together to try to understand, even define goals and help them see, you know, how do they get to what they really want, instead of we just want a bunch of people following us, like, and they do some really good work. So I think there's a few sides to their business, and I'm trying to help them understand what methods they're using to attract those are actually working and how they're working. I think the best part about this is I can say, hey, I've been freelancing for almost 10 years now, and I've been doing online, you know, like it's not news. It's not new to me on how to do a Zoom call or do a Google Hangout or work from home or be productive. I don't have those challenges that a lot of people are facing, having been in an office over the last decade or so. So it's kind of a gift in that way. Like all this time, I'm like, oh. And my preference is still Google Meet. So,
so you're ahead of the game.
I feel like I landed in that little realm pretty well, because I learned a lot from the time on Google Plus. So,
thank you. Bob, do you have some specific questions for Mary?
Yeah, I sure do, Mary. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Okay, great. So this is going to be kind of long-winded, but I did some research on you. That's kind of scary, I know, but yeah, on your Twitter account, you posted a link to a speech transcript from John Gardner, and it concerned personal renewal. He used a barnacle as an example. It decides where it's going to live for the rest of its life, and basically its head is attached to a rock. So he implied that some folks are like that. So my question to you is, how have you avoided that outcome?
Wow, I don't even remember that post, but just how that's kind of telling how often I'm over on Twitter and how I probably need to go back in there and look at my. But I think if you're speaking towards relevance, I just keep trying to iterate, right? And it often, in some respects, it comes with my clients because all of my clients are so different. And they all have different needs. So, for example, I had another client that was in the finance industry. I did a data studio project for them, and they wanted a very specific breakdown of their data. So then I had to go off and learn how to do regex, which was fun. I mean, it's just, it seems like every client I have, there's something that I knew I need to learn to be able to give them what they're needing in their specific thing. There's no one size fits all generally. So I guess since I don't even remember that post, I'm assuming that relevance is what you're asking. But if it's not, please clarify, and I'll try my best to answer that.
Oh, no. In fact, we all got to laugh a little bit, that was good. So as a follow-up, has a love of animals been a renewing or a motivational factor in your doings?
You know, I rescued a cat about 1.5 years ago, and prior to that, I was not quite ready for a full-time pet or the responsibility, so I fostered animals. So yeah, I love animals, but I love people too. So you know, if it's living and breathing, I'm a pretty big fan. So
well, you know, I think maybe there would be overlap with your potential clientele where you would have a shared interest, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if that's a big deal with being a freelancer, but I'm thinking anytime that you can connect with people on, you know, a theme or a subject or a passion, that might be a good thing.
Yeah, one of the clients I've had this year, I'm mostly teaching one of her team members how to use the Google products and services. So we always talk about our pets, like. We're over on it's a great way to, it's kind of an icebreaker, talk about your cat, and my cat will interrupt probably at some point, so there's always that. And then I'm fortunate enough to live in San Diego, so there's weather here and the beach and things like that.
No, that's great.
Yeah. So any other questions or anything else I can clarify around that topic?
No, I think that was really good, but I think Monica's got some questions for you.
Okay, let's see.
Yes, hi, Mary. So we know each other quite some years already. Yeah. So my question would be, what kind of value did you gain from all your online homes, networking over the years, especially for your profession? And maybe how was it changing over the years?
I think, I don't even have to think, without a doubt, Google Plus was the biggest change in my profession. I came into Google Plus during another transition decade, or early in the decade, where I'd been laid off from a large consulting firm. I'd done a high-tech startup that didn't quite work out. I was then at a small co-working space at the head of that, but I was also learning marketing, and I landed in Google Plus, and the relationships I built in Google Plus, like I can't think of another platform where I've built relationships like I did on Google Plus. The fact that we're here almost 10 years later, and I haven't talked to you in a couple of years, or seen you guys. So it's just, I think that is the most meaningful to me. It allowed me to create a new career, a new learning path, and it allowed me to build relationships, some very deep relationships that are worldwide, that I'd have not been able to do that on any other platform, or actually in real life. I mean, there's good people, but it's, you know.
Yeah. Thank you. You are summing up it quite like we all feel it as well. Yes.
Yeah.
And it proves that relationships are the most important basic for professional life as well.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either online or in real world.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mary. Very important. Thank you. So, okay, Peggy, back to you, please.
Thank you, Monica. And thank you, Mary, so much for joining us. It's been very interesting. I want to say to our viewers, who I'm sure also found it interesting, to be sure to check the links in the video description where you can see more about Mary and follow her on social media. And be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you can see our future interviews and tutorials here on the eBoard channel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really great to see you all and chat with you again. So stay well.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our channel below.